starts at 2. But I can't help share what I love. Next time you come to Savannah, you're going to be here Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. You really want to take the tour of the Champion McAlpin House Museum. I love this museum, this house. And who owns it? Who owns the Champion McAlpin House Museum? The Society of the Cincinnati owns it. The Society of the Cincinnati. King George promoted him. He's facing his Spanish enemy, General Overlord. Imagine you can see luxury Packard cars for sale on the right here. Watch. Luxury Packard cars used to be on display on that showroom floor. Take a look. Now obviously there's been a few fires and renovations, but enough structural walls remain. They can claim it's the oldest playhouse still in use in America, 1818 original structure. Please look way up. Forrest Gump. Look at that Chippewa sign next to us, please. Look at it. That's where Forrest sat, waiting for the bus to Jenny's apartment. That's where the movie crew set up a fake bus stop so they could film here. Right there. Please look way up high to the right. One more glimpse of the tallest steeple. Did you know that Scott's Highlanders, Scott's Church Creek Revival, 1830s Greek Revival. We saw the Champion McAlpin Greek Revival. Here's the Moses Eastman Mansion. He was a wealthy jeweler, silversmith. On the sidewalk, a downspout fish. There's one fish, and then there's two fish. There's one fish, two fish. One fish, two fish. Don't these fish kind of remind you of Dr. Seuss characters a little bit? And then a man from Ireland said, hey, we used to have those in Ireland. And I said, okay, the British Isles. As hunting lodges. Look at this Moorish influence, one of Henry's first dealerships out of Detroit. Moorish influence. Here's stop number 3, the Pumpkin Color Mansion. This is the Sorrel Weed House Museum. A young man grew up in this house with his mom and dad and put a private stripe on his shirt. Before the war was over, he was a brigadier general. Did you just hear how a young man went from private to general in less than 4 years? His memoirs are for sale across, it says E. Shaver Bookseller. Here's in front of us is the Green Meldrum House Museum. This is where William Tecumseh Sherman was invited to stay by the owner, Charles Green, a super rich house. What do you think? Please look way up high above that red brick building up ahead. Look at way up high is a crenellated roof line, terraced like a castle. What used to be an armory is believed now. Who bought this big old armory right there in front of us? Own over 70 buildings in town, 70. Now please pay attention to this. Jones Street goes east and west here. Jones Street is the most intact 1850s street in Savannah. You want to walk up and down. You want to walk up and down that Jones Street and pretend it's horses and carriage. His great-granddad had a red brick mansion built up ahead there. Then a guy named Jim Williams bought it, and Jim, he used to fix up old houses and sell them, fix them and sell them, and then flip them. Now, when Sherman was up in Atlanta resting for his march to the sea, none of these buildings were here. It was all undeveloped. And right there at that corner, slaves were told to build a stockade. Right there was a POW camp. Yankees were held prisoner right there for about a month while Sherman was up in Atlanta resting. Can you believe slaves were told to plant 12-foot logs in the ground making a fence? Right there, Yankees were held prisoner. Any questions? Any comments? Okay. Now let's fill in some blanks. Colonel James Overboard, combat veteran. Where did he first see war? What made him qualified to be military leader? Well, as a young man, he quit college to go fight the Ottoman Turks. And you know how familiar with the Greek Orthodox faith tradition? The Greek Orthodox tradition says, quote, we build our churches the same shape Jesus built his synagogue square. Jesus was a rabbi. He knew best how to build a house of worship, and that's why the Greek worked. Now, the Greeks bought this from the city in the 1940s. It was first built in the 1890s as Alexander Lawton Memorial Hall Community Center. And Alexander Lawton, he was a lawyer, militia, and in the 1880s, the city of Savannah ran 2 slowly but surely and went from farm further south. And that means they let this district go into steep decline, such that by the 1980s, then they bought a beat-up, dilapidated milk processing plant when it was dairy farms. They bought a milk plant and bulldozed it down, and you're going to see to the right the word Starland Yard painted on a wall. You're going to see the word Starland. They bulldozed down a milk plant and put up these structures instead using containers from the shipping industry. And so now you have your Starland Yard eating, drinking, entertainment block. Eating, drinking, entertainment block. And please notice how on our right are Italian cypress trees. And my boss, the owner of this trolley company, he says, take the customers way far past Forsyth Park, way off the map, and show the customers, even though we're off the map, we still have 2 shuttle stops not indicated. And that's why I use these shuttle cypress trees as a landmark. If you want to come back out here later, you ask the shuttle driver, please take us to the Starland Cypress stop. They'll know what you're talking about. Any questions? Any questions? Various food truck vendors come here to this Starland block and take turns, and some of the cooks are even chefs from local restaurants. Who else besides me? Does anyone else back there, do you think it's the perfect time of day for a cold, frosty micro beer? Murals. Here's some murals on the left. And so these murals were inspired by the art supply store owner on the right. Art supply store owner on the right. Hold on a second. Is he going to come in? Yep, he's going to come in. I hope I can get my stern out of his way a little bit here. Hold on tight. This guy a break here. Go. How we doing? Are you still with me? Now, makes you breakfast and lunch Tuesday through Saturday. And does anybody else besides me, who else do you love lox and bagels? Anybody love? They got a wood-fired baking oven. They bake their bagels fresh. There's a distinct type of gingerbread to your left. It's called steamboat style. Watch. Steamboat style is very distinct. And then on the right, you're going to see a junior high school building from the 19th. She escaped with her uncle to the Yankees when they occupied the coast. And there she ministered to the USCT, United States Colored Troops. And so in the salt of the earth, Mr. Harold, God rest his soul. Did you know he'll be born in there? Now, it's over 7 feet diameter and it's a name. So they took them down. Reverend King made a zigzag route going at the courthouse when they committed.
Lie very still until they're ready to. Well, you guys might remember season 3, episode 2. There was a River Street all the way down to Plant Riverside. Now today.